What happens when a 27-year-old political firebrand steps into the ring against a seasoned congresswoman and leaves her speechless? The stage was set, the lights were blinding, and the tension in the room was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Karoline Leavitt, the White House's youngest press secretary, stood poised in her pastel pink blazer, a cross necklace gleaming under the studio lights. Across from her, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, a fierce progressive known for her razor-sharp comebacks, tightened her grip on the podium, ready to strike. The audience held its breath. MAGA supporters clutched their red signs. Progressives leaned forward in their seats, and the cameras zoomed in, waiting for the first blow. Then, in a moment no one saw coming, Leavitt delivered a counterattack so brutal it didn't just silence Crockett, it sent shockwaves across the internet. How did a 27-year-old outmaneuver a veteran lawmaker on live TV? And why did this single moment explode into the biggest political showdown of the year? The atmosphere inside the Capitol Clash studio was nothing short of explosive, a pressure cooker of political tension ready to blow at any second. Every seat in the audience was filled. MAGA diehards in their signature red hats clutched handmade signs that read, "Leavitt for President," while progressive activists dressed in bold "Fight for 15" shirts glared across the aisle, their arms crossed in silent defiance. The air hummed with whispered bets and hushed predictions as camera operators adjusted their lenses, knowing whatever was about to happen would be replayed on every news network by morning. The stage itself was a battlefield, disguised as a talk show set. Polished hardwood floors reflecting the blinding studio lights, two sleek podiums positioned like dueling pistols at dawn, and a giant screen behind them flashing the words, "America's Future, the Showdown." On the right side of the stage, Karoline Leavitt stood motionless, her posture so perfectly straight it looked like she'd been carved from marble. At 27, she was a political anomaly, a Gen Z conservative who spoke with the conviction of a seasoned senator, rather than a first-term press secretary. Her outfit was a masterclass in messaging, a pastel pink blazer, soft enough to seem approachable, bold enough to stand out. Black slacks with a razor-sharp crease, no-nonsense professionalism. And those now iconic red heels, a silent warning that she'd stomp on anyone who underestimated her. The cross necklace around her neck caught the light every time she turned, a not-so-subtle reminder of the values she represented. Her hands rested lightly on the podium, fingers laced together, betraying none of the adrenaline that must have been coursing through her. Across from her, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett paced slightly, her burgundy power suit and sky-high afro making her look every bit the warrior she was known to be. A veteran of countless congressional brawls, Crockett had built her reputation on eviscerating opponents with a mix of policy expertise and street-smart wit. Tonight, she was ready to expose what she saw as the administration's greatest weakness, its reliance on a spokesperson who, in her view, was more style than substance. She adjusted her microphone with the ease of someone who'd done this 1,000 times, her gold bangles clinking softly with every movement. The slight smirk playing on her lips said it all. She thought this was going to be easy. Host Rachel Harper, a veteran journalist known for her ability to stir the pot, wasted no time. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice dripping with the gravitas of a boxing announcer, "tonight isn't just a debate. It's a clash of ideologies, a battle for the soul of America's future." The audience erupted. Cheers, boos, and a few audible gasps from the undecided voters scattered throughout the room. Harper continued. On one side, a rising star of the Democratic Party, a fighter for workers' rights and economic justice. On the other, the youngest press secretary in modern history, the voice of an administration that's redefining American politics. She paused for effect, letting the tension build. "Let's begin." Before Harper could even finish her sentence, Crockett struck first. "Miss Leavitt," she said, her voice honey-sweet but laced with arsenic, "let's cut to the chase. You're 27, a new mother, a political novice." The room went dead silent. How do you stand there with a straight face and defend policies that have driven up grocery prices by 22% for working families? The question was a grenade, designed to paint Leavitt as both inexperienced and heartless. Progressive corners of... The audience burst into applause while a few MAGA supporters grumbled under their breath. Leavitt didn't blink. She let the silence hang for a beat, just long enough to make everyone lean in, then unleashed her counterattack. "Congresswoman," she began, her voice calm but edged with steel. "I may be young, but I've spent the last year in factory towns you've never heard of, talking to single moms choosing between gas and groceries because of policies your party supported for decades." The MAGA section roared to life. Leavitt didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. "You want to talk about prices? Let's talk about how your beloved NAFTA hollowed out entire communities. Let's talk about the steelworker in Ohio who just got his job back because of our tariffs." She leaned in slightly, her eyes locked onto Crockett's. "But by all means, keep tweeting from your taxpayer-funded office about how much you care." The audience lost it. Cheers, shouts, someone in the back screaming, "Damn!" loud enough to make the producers wince. Crockett's smile faltered for half a second, just long enough for the cameras to catch it. What followed was a masterclass in political combat. Crockett fired back with statistics, unemployment rates, trade deficits, studies from liberal think tanks, but Leavitt had an answer for everyone. When Crockett cited a report on agricultural job losses, Leavitt shot back with Labor Department, numbers showing manufacturing gains. When Crockett accused the administration of abandoning the poor, Leavitt listed Trump-era policies that had lowered prescription drug costs. Each exchange left Crockett scrambling, her usual razor-sharp precision dulled by Leavitt's relentless preparation. The knockout blow came during a discussion on national security. Crockett, desperate to regain ground, accused the administration of warmongering. Leavitt didn't just counter, she eviscerated. "Congresswoman, you call it warmongering when we take out ISIS leaders. I call it keeping my daughter safe." The room exploded. Even some progressives nodded reluctantly. Crockett opened her mouth to respond, but nothing came out. For the first time in her career, she had no words. By the time the segment ended, the internet was already on fire. Clips of Leavitt's takedowns spread like wildfire. Leavitt Slays was trending on X within minutes. TikTok edits of her sharpest lines racked up millions of views, and memes comparing Crockett to a deflated balloon flooded Instagram. Fox News ran the segment on loop with Kyrans screaming, "New conservative icon born tonight." Even left-leaning outlets like CNN couldn't ignore the carnage. "Crockett met her match," read one headline. But here's what no one's talking about. Was this just a bad night for Crockett, or did Leavitt expose a deeper weakness in the progressive playbook? Now it's your turn. Who really won this battle? Was Leavitt's dominance a sign of a shifting political landscape, or did Crockett just have an off night? Drop your hottest take in the comments. We want to hear every perspective, and if you're obsessed with high-stakes political drama like this, smash that subscribe button because trust us, this won't be the last time these two clash. The 2024 election is coming, and if tonight proved anything, it's that Karoline Leavitt isn't just playing the game, she's rewriting the rules. So what's next? Will Crockett come back swinging? Will Leavitt's star keep rising? Sound off below, and buckle up because this rivalry is far from over.